I hope all of you have read the book And Give Up Showbiz. If you haven't, you must. Because what it does is it tells a story that's so unlikely. It's like sometimes fact is crazier than fiction. And when you read that book, that's how you feel. But every word of it is true. And I want to read something, and then I want you to guess, and I want you to process in your mind where this might have come from. And Give Up Showbiz is a wonderful, insightful glimpse into the hilarious, touching, and at times wildly shocking life of a small-town lawyer who took on the system from the outset of his career. Fred Levin has enhanced the lives of many who needed help and lived a life that only could be emulated in a Hollywood movie, and probably will be. Now that sounds like something from a law organization, doesn't it? That's from The Lancet. That's from a medical journal that's probably one of the most prestigious, not just in America, but in the world. So that gives you some insight as to the impact that my partner has had and the impact he's going to continue to have years to come. Most of the time when we give the Trial Lawyer of the Year award, we have a checklist, and we go through that checklist. Howard and everybody sits there, and this checklist has been put together over the years. And sometimes we focus on money. Last one we gave was my friend Mark Lanier, who got a $9 billion verdict down in Louisiana and settled the Actos litigation. But we also do something, and we say that verdict, sometimes the good that comes out of that verdict is so much more important than the amount. And that's how we evaluated. Fred has had more million-dollar verdicts than I can count. We've lost track of them. Not a million, but excess of 10 million, excess of 10 million, excess of 20 million. So I don't want to dwell on that. But I want to say in the summer of 2007, Fred's client that we gave this award for was driving a Rhino. It's an ATV. It's a vehicle, all-terrain vehicle. The design of the Rhino was so poor that the company had not lost a case. 1,000 cases, they had never paid out a verdict. So my partner, we're all sitting there, we're saying, Fred, you know, there's other cases we need you to pay attention to. This fact situation is pretty rough. Let me remind you, 1,000 cases. And if you know Fred Levin, all that did was, it just egged him on. And he said, I can do this. And I said, well, Fred, I'm sure you can do it, but we wish you would pay attention to something else right now. He says, no, I'm going to do this. So he goes to Alabama in front of the most awful judge. This is a story where politics matters. This is a Republican appointee in Alabama who is just the most dysfunctional trial judge probably I've ever even heard of. When I read the transcript of this trial, I said, I can't even comprehend that this judge is on the bench. He wasn't just trying the case against this company. He was trying the case against an organization that wanted to beat Fred Levin. That was their mission. We want to beat Fred Levin. He was trying the case against a judge that was so upside down in decency. Understood this woman was horribly injured driving this ATV, this poorly designed piece of junk. She was so horribly injured, and every time Fred would talk about something like damages or whatever it may be, this judge, he realized he was trying the case against the judge too. So it ended in the first trial exactly like you'd expect. Jury came back without a verdict. And I said, okay, Fred, now you've done that. He said, no, I'm not done. I'm going to appeal. So what does he do next? He takes it to the most regressive Supreme Court maybe in the country in Alabama, the most backward, regressive court in the country. And, and I'm reading his stuff, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant. But we've all been there where we've done brilliant memos, we've done briefs, we've seen brilliant work. And I said, well, Fred, don't get your hopes up. The Supreme Court, honest to God, in the most regressive state in this country, comes back and overturns the verdict. And the dicta and the discussion in that verdict would embarrass any judge. It would cause most judges to say, to retire, to get out of the business, to resign. And he goes back to trial, and exactly happens what we've always expected to happen with Fred Levin. He comes back with an extraordinary verdict with the facts. The first time the company had ever been hit, total in excess of $4.5 million that they actually had to pay. Why is that case important? The case isn't important because it was his biggest case. He's the one who wrote, he wrote the language that's brought down the tobacco industry. I don't know if you know that or not. He wrote it. He and Bobby Lohr with our law firm sat there. We're looking at him like, what's going on here? Well, we're going to change legislation. We're going to bring down tobacco. But I tell you that just to put it in perspective. This case may have been one of the lowest verdicts he's ever had. But I got to promise you, in all the $1 million verdicts he's had, all the extraordinary results he's had, he's never told me this, but I bet you it's in the top 2 of the most important verdicts that he got, because it was just absolute raw anger and tenacity that got him there. Fred Levin is our trial lawyer of the year. Let's see the film.
Fred Levin is one of the most successful trial attorneys in the country. He has received more than 25 jury verdicts in excess of $1 million, 6 in excess of $10 million. At various points in his career, he has held the national record for jury verdicts involving the wrongful death of a child, the wrongful death of a housewife, the wrongful death of a wage earner, and the largest personal injury verdict in the state of Florida. He is a member of the Inner Circle of Advocates, an organization limited to 100 members throughout the country, and has been listed in every edition of the publication Best Lawyers in America. Levin received the Perry Nichols Award in 1994, which is the highest honor bestowed by the Academy of Florida Trial Lawyers and is given in recognition for a person's lifetime achievements in the pursuit of justice. The late Chief Judge in Escambia County, Florida, stated the following to the Florida Bar about Levin. He is the best we have in the First Judicial Circuit and probably in the state of Florida. He has, and deserves, a reputation for being one of the best trial attorneys in the nation. For the year 1999, the National Law Journal named Levin as the top civil litigator in Florida. This honor encompassed plaintiff and defense counsel. Levin was also named in the October 4, 1999 edition of the National Law Journal as one of the top 10 litigators for 1999. Which again included both plaintiff and defense counsel. Also in 1999, Levin was honored at the United Nations by being made a chief in the Republic of Ghana. This honor was bestowed on Levin because of his lifetime of dedication to equal justice for all people of all races. At the same time, Levin received a citation honoring him by the United States Congressional Black Caucus. He has managed the career of many champion boxers. In 1995, he was selected by the National Boxing Writers Association of America as the National Boxing Manager of the Year. The next year, he was given the Rocky Marciano Presidential Award as Boxing Manager. When asked about his greatest accomplishment, however, Levin states he is most proud of his idea in 1993 of rewriting the Florida Medicaid Third-Party Recovery Act to permit the state of Florida to sue the tobacco industry to recover expenditures for treating illnesses caused by cigarette smoking. Levin wrote the legislation and was instrumental in its passage. Immediately after its passage, the legislation was described as the single biggest blow against the tobacco industry in United States history. The legislation eventually resulted in a $13 billion settlement for the state of Florida. In 1998, Levin gave the University of Florida Law School a donation, which at the time was the largest ever given to a public law school. And in 1999, the law school was officially changed to the University of Florida Frederick G. Levin College of Law. Fred Levin has authored many books and articles, including a best-selling book on opening statements and a book on closing arguments. In 2009, Levin was introduced to the Trial Lawyer Hall of Fame at Temple University.
It's quite an honor, and I'm so appreciative of the award, and I sometimes, not just sometimes, I wonder why. Steve Yared had 3 verdicts this past year that were bigger than the case that Mike Papantonio told you about. I am happy that 3 of my 4 children are here today. The 4th one is a circuit judge, and she's tied up in trial. But I wondered why, and I said, well, maybe it's because I've been practicing personal injury law probably longer than the majority of you have lived. It's 55 years I've practiced law. Then I thought maybe it was a sympathy award that earlier this year I was diagnosed with brain cancer, and then shortly thereafter with stage 4 lung cancer. And hopefully they say I'm cancer-free at this time. And so I thought maybe they would. So I'm thankful for that, and hopefully it'll remain that way. I am so appreciative, not just of the award, but of my law partners, my family, at these 2 tables are dear friends, and but all in all, I want them to know that I'm so appreciative of the award. It's probably the finest award I've ever been given. And I hope that it was given because of my legal work and not because of that I was able to go 55 years or not from a sympathy standpoint. But anyhow, I do appreciate so much of the award. The only thing I hope is Steve Yared said he was going to go to bed tonight, is that he doesn't call me at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Anyhow, thank you so much. Thank you.